Chosen One, August 7th. God is sending a signal. Listen. There are days when time feels louder than usual, when something in the air stirs and shifts, and your soul leans in as if it knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. August 7th is one of those days. It isn't just another square on the calendar. It's a portal, a divine signal wrapped in what may look ordinary but feels unmistakably sacred. The kind of day that won't shout for your attention, but will whisper straight into your spirit. If you're still enough, if you're open enough, if you let the noise fall away just for a moment, you'll hear it. You'll feel it. Something is coming. Not chaos, not confusion, but clarity. Something you prayed for, something you've been unknowingly walking toward, is finally arriving. Before we go deeper, I want you to pause here. Let your breath settle. Quiet your thoughts. Now, take a moment and go to the comments. Write your most authentic wish. The one that lives deepest inside you. The one you've been nurturing in silence. And after that, write 777. Not for luck, not for trend, but because it aligns your intention with divine order. It's a sacred agreement, a spiritual echo that tells the universe, I'm ready. That single act, that quiet declaration, could be the energetic signature that allows the signal God is sending on August 7th to reach you fully and clearly. Now, Chosen One, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. This message isn't for everyone. It's not meant to be. It's meant for those who feel the pull without needing a reason. For those who sense shifts in seasons, not by the weather, but by the weight in their spirit. For those who have been walking through uncertainty with their head held high, even when their knees were shaking. You're not here by accident. This message found you because your soul has already said yes. Now your mind is catching up. You've outgrown what used to define you. The old season had to collapse. Not because you failed in it, but because you fulfilled it. You learned what you were supposed to. You endured what you didn't think you could. You grew roots while others only grew appearances. And now, everything you've been through is converging into a moment. This moment, where you're not being asked to start over, but to step into what was always waiting. On August 7th, the signal won't look like lightning in the sky. It might not sound like a booming voice from heaven. It may arrive as an idea that won't leave you alone. A name that keeps showing up. A sudden stillness in a noisy place. That's how heaven works with those it trusts deeply. It speaks in symbols, in timings, in divine nudges. And it expects you to discern. Not through your eyes, but through your knowing. The signal may not change your environment immediately, but it will change you. And once you shift, the environment has no choice but to follow. You've probably felt the tension lately, an unexplainable pressure, a restlessness that doesn't make sense, even when everything seems fine. That's the preparation. That's the divine recalibration. God doesn't launch the signal without first tuning the receiver. And you, Chosen One, are being tuned. The static is clearing. The interference is falling away. You're about to hear something others will miss, not because you're better, but because you've been broken enough to become sensitive. Sensitive to truth. Sensitive to timing. Sensitive to destiny. Let go of the idea that this signal will confirm your comfort. It might not. It's more likely to confirm your calling. And callings rarely come with cushions. They come with courage. They come with clarity that demands action. You won't be able to ignore it. Not this time. Not this signal. It's been building for months, perhaps years. Every delay, every closed door, every season of silence, it was all preparing you to recognize this moment for what it is. An invitation, not to something new, but to something true. Stay open, stay alert, stay soft in your spirit, but firm in your stance. August 7th isn't just a date. It's a divine appointment. You've already RSVP'd in your spirit. And now, heaven is about to show up, not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. And that positioning, through pain, through process, through persistence, is what will allow you to receive the signal without fear, without confusion, and without delay. You've been in rooms where your spirit flinched before your body had the chance to move. You've stood in conversations that looked harmless, but deep down you could feel your soul shrinking just by being there. That was no accident. You've developed something rare, spiritual sensitivity, and on August 7th, that gift will be the key. Not everyone will understand the signal. Not everyone is meant to. But you, chosen one, you will. Because your training wasn't in visible battles. It was in silent endurance. It was in the prayers you whispered through clenched teeth, in the tears that no one saw but God. All of that wasn't wasted. It was building your discernment for a moment like this. The signal you're about to receive won't flatter your ego. It will awaken your purpose. It will require you to respond, not react. It might call you to distance yourself from people who still think you're in the same season they met you in. It might pull you towards something so unfamiliar that even your confidence starts to stutter. But don't mistake discomfort for danger. Sometimes, discomfort is just destiny shaking your soul awake. That signal will echo in your chest like a bell. Deep, resonant, undeniable. And when it does, you'll know. You'll just know. You don't need to explain it to anyone. You're not called to convince the world that you heard from God. You're simply called to respond. And the way you respond is your offering. Your answer to heaven's signal isn't your words, it's your movement. When you feel the shift, honor it, even if you're scared, even if it doesn't make sense yet. Trust that what's unclear now will make perfect sense when you're on the other side of obedience. This isn't about seeing everything. It's about trusting what you feel deep in your spirit. Some of you will be asked to close chapters that still have pages left. Others will be called to open doors you didn't even knock on. This signal doesn't follow your logic. It follows your alignment. And alignment isn't about perfection. It's about permission. Are you willing to say yes, even if your voice shakes? Are you willing to take one step, even if you don't see the full staircase? Because sometimes, the divine doesn't give blueprints. It gives moments. And August 7th is a moment. A sacred one. A signal that separates the called from the chosen. Let this be the season where you stop asking for signs that affirm your comfort and start asking for signs that activate your courage. The signal might look like a conversation you weren't expecting, a door opening that you didn't plan for, or a closed opportunity that, somehow, feels like peace. Don't measure it with your past filters. Don't compare it to what you've seen before. This one is new. This one is different. And it's tailored to your frequency, not your familiarity. You weren't meant to blend in. That's why so many places never felt right. You've been feeling misplaced, not because you're broken, but because you're being positioned. There is a divine setup unfolding. Everything is being arranged. not by coincidence, but by design. And if it feels like people are falling away, if it feels like you're being pulled into solitude, don't resist it. God removes what cannot go with you. The signal is not sent to crowds, it's sent to the committed. To those who've decided that clarity matters more than comfort, and obedience matters more than approval. On August 7th, your soul will recognize something that your mind might still be processing. That's okay. Trust your soul. It was there before the confusion, and it will remain after the clarity comes. Don't second-guess what you feel. That quiet nudge, that inner pull, that's your compass. Don't delay your movement because you're waiting for mass confirmation. This isn't about consensus, it's about conviction. And your conviction will guide you better than any applause ever could. Here's what you need to remember. The signal will come in a form that speaks your language. Not your earthly language, but your spiritual one. God doesn't need volume to make himself clear. Sometimes he speaks loudest through stillness. And when you sense it, don't dismiss it. Sit with it. Pray with it. Act on it. Because what seems small in the moment may unlock something massive in your journey. You're standing at the edge of something holy. And this signal, it's not a test, it's a trust. A trust that was earned through the fire, through the silence, through the long nights where you didn't know if you'd ever feel purpose again. But here you are, aligned, available, ready. This signal is a shift, not just in your life, but in your legacy. Sometimes, the most powerful signal isn't the one that sounds like a trumpet blast. It's the one that settles into your bones before your mind has time to name it. And for you, chosen one, the signal on August 7th will not need to be explained. It will be recognized. It will vibrate through your discernment like a familiar melody you didn't know you remembered. It won't argue with your logic. It will bypass it. Because this is not the season to reason your way into alignment. This is the season to feel your way forward with faith. You'll know the signal because it will disrupt your routine in the most sacred way. You'll pause mid-thought, mid-sentence, mid-plan, and suddenly realize something has shifted. That moment of pause is not weakness. It's a divine interruption. It's heaven giving you a new set of coordinates. Don't resist the redirection just because it doesn't come with instructions. The signal may not tell you what's next. It might only tell you what's no longer right. And that's still clarity. You might feel drawn away from something you thought you needed. That's not failure. It's freedom. The signal might strip away the noise, the familiar, even the things that once felt like blessings. Because what served you in your last season might suffocate you in your next. And this signal is about preparation, not preservation. God isn't trying to maintain your comfort. He's trying to awaken your calling. And calling rarely feels safe when it first arrives. It feels disruptive, unnerving, but undeniable. Don't look to others to validate what only your spirit can see. Some people around you might miss the moment. They're still waiting for confirmation in the clouds, while your confirmation has already landed in your chest. You are being asked to move before it makes sense, to shift before the full picture is revealed. That's not recklessness. It's reverence. It's saying, God, I trust your signal more than my strategy. Your hesitation is holy, but don't let it become a habit. You can honor your emotions without letting them lead. Feel the fear. Acknowledge the uncertainty. But don't let either become the reason you delay obedience. This signal isn't just a message. It's a summons. A call to become what you were always meant to be. Not when the timing feels perfect, but now. right now, because the heavens are moving, and your response is part of the rhythm. There's a reason you've been feeling spiritually restless. The signal isn't coming to wake you up. It's arriving because you're already awake. You've felt the tremors. You've sensed the transition. You know something is shifting, even if you can't name it yet. That's because your soul is tuned to the frequency of heaven. The signal isn't arriving to you, it's arriving through you. You are the vessel. You are the proof. So what does it look like to respond? It looks like simplifying, like removing what doesn't belong so your signal isn't drowned out by static. It looks like protecting your peace, like it's sacred currency, like canceling plans that don't align with your purpose, like saying no to good things so you're available for the God thing. It's not about being busy. It's about being in position. The truth is, many are called, but few are positioned. You can't catch what you're not open to. You can't receive what you've made no room for. And this signal will not compete for space. If your life is cluttered with distractions, you might miss it. Not because you weren't chosen, but because you weren't listening. This is your reminder to listen deeply, to lean in, to stay alert, not just in your body, but in your spirit. Let August 7th be the day you stop looking for signs that cater to your preferences and instead open yourself to a signal that stretches you. Growth isn't convenient. Alignment isn't always obvious. But both are worth everything. You won't regret the risks that bring you closer to who you were born to be. And this signal is calling you home, to yourself, to your mission, to your next dimension. You're not being asked to do this alone. Even in silence, you are surrounded, guided, empowered. Every step of your path is being lit, even if you can only see the next footstep. The signal will never leave you stranded. It will pull you exactly where you're supposed to be and prepare you for who you're supposed to become. But first, you must trust it, even when it's quiet, even when it's strange, even when it leads you into unknown territory. Don't ignore the nudges. The signal doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers through repetition, through restlessness, through the way your body reacts when something is off. Listen to your peace. Pay attention to your unease. Both are spiritual indicators. Both are divine data. Use them. And above all, act. Don't just feel it. Don't just journal about it. Don't just pray over it. Move. One step, one decision, one boundary. It doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. It just has to be real. When the signal comes, and it will, your response is your agreement with heaven. Are you ready to answer? Then answer not with noise, but with movement. Let your life become the loudest yes you ever whisper. The signal on August 7th isn't asking for your applause, it's asking for your alignment. You've been given more than signs. You've been given discernment. And now that you've received the signal, the real work begins. The shift isn't about hearing anymore. It's about honoring what you've heard. The most dangerous thing you could do in this season is hesitate. Because hesitation creates distortion. It turns divine signals into confusion. But when you act with clarity, even if you're still healing, even if you're unsure, you show heaven that you trust the language of the unseen. This is spiritual maturity, the ability to respond before full understanding, the courage to obey before full comfort. The truth is, you don't need to feel ready. You just need to feel called. And you do, don't you? Deep in your belly, in that sacred space beyond words, You know something has been activated. It doesn't matter if the world understands. It doesn't even matter if the people closest to you support it. This signal wasn't broadcast for the crowd. It was whispered to your spirit. Don't go looking for group validation for a solo assignment. Don't expect the signal to come with a full instruction manual. God is sending confirmation, not blueprints. Because blueprints would make you rely on logic, and He wants you to rely on faith. That's why you've felt so stripped of control lately. That's why the usual rhythms aren't working. The signal is changing your internal frequency. It's not your job to decode every detail. It's your job to stay attuned. And staying attuned doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means waking up each day and asking, what do I need to let go of today so I can hear more clearly? That's alignment. That's spiritual precision. That's the posture that keeps you in position to receive the next cue, the next door, the next miracle. Some of you are being asked to lay down the very things that gave you comfort last season. Relationships, patterns, identities, timelines. The signal is not interested in preserving your old season. It's preparing you for a new authority. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Let that land. Sometimes the storm is the signal. Sometimes the silence is the answer. Sometimes the rejection is the redirection. Chosen one, you must be able to see past what's obvious. If you're waiting for thunder, you'll miss the whisper. If you're waiting for applause, you'll miss the instruction. And if you're waiting for comfort, you'll never see the calling unfold. You weren't chosen for ease. You were chosen for impact. And impact requires interruption. Interruption of patterns, of mindsets, of comfort zones. That's why the signal won't leave you alone. It keeps circling. It keeps nudging. It keeps showing up in your dreams, your thoughts, your moments of stillness. Don't dismiss that. That's not your imagination. That's your invitation. An invitation to become, to evolve, to break the shell of who you've been so the world can finally see who you are. Your new season doesn't need you to be better. It needs you to be real. It needs you to stop performing and start embodying, to stop waiting and start walking. The signal is your cue, not just to believe, but to become. You already know what the next step is. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe it's a decision. Maybe it's a goodbye. Maybe it's a declaration. But whatever it is, stop pretending you're confused. You're not confused. You're scared. And that's okay. Fear is not failure. But staying stuck in fear, that's disobedience. That's delay. That's missing the movement of heaven and the miracle with your name on it.